Tony, you ready?
Go ahead.
So I want to welcome you this evening and thank you for joining our second City of Palo Alto Utilities Home Efficiency Genie webinar. Our topic tonight is how to prepare your home for fall. If you missed our last webinar on indoor air quality, we do have a recording and the presentation slides on Palo Alto Utilities web pages, and we will share that link in our chat box here in just a few minutes, so you can access those. We'll also share tonight's presentation and the slides in a follow-up email. They will also be hosted on the city's web pages, and you'll get an email if you sign up for the webinar. So you will have access to tonight's presentation as well. Let me start our introductions with a little bit about the Home Efficiency Genie program, which offers free over-the-phone energy, water, and home comfort advice to Palo Alto residents. It's funded by Palo Alto Utilities, and it's managed by ClearResult. That's the nationwide efficiency program provider. Our Genie advisors provide impartial guidance on concerns such as high utility bills, home comfort issues, but also on upgrades like insulation, space heating and cooling, furnaces, water heaters, rooftop solar, and that's just to name a few. The Genie manages a pool of vetted home performance contractors who are specialists in whole home efficiency. And so our Genie program really, the advisors can provide truly independent third-party advice for these efficiency projects, and they can help you with getting an impartial review of any bids or estimates that you might get from those contractors. Before the COVID-19, the Genie had been offering comprehensive in-home assessments since about 2015, which I mentioned Tony has done about 350 of those. And those were to evaluate all of your home systems, which include some specialized diagnostic testing methods for focusing on air movement and the building envelope. But as a result of not being able to enter homes, we are in the final stages of preparing to offer a virtual version of the in-home assessment using a phone-based tool where our technician can provide you to guide you through your house and review conditions that would possibly affect your comfort or efficiency. The Genie has also been offering home electrification advice. That's for converting from gas appliances to electric ones with something that we call the electrification readiness assessments. And this is to evaluate your home's readiness to electrify. If you're interested in learning more about any of these services, please contact the Genie at efficientygenie.com. And all of our Genie contact info will be offered at the end of the webinar. So if you didn't get that, we'll have our information available, phone number, email, and the web address. So tonight's first presenter is Tony Jung. He's the Genie's senior technician, as I mentioned, has performed over 350 assessments in Palo Alto, and has been a building science professional for almost a decade. Following Tony will be Emily Yarsinski. She is a water conservation specialist with Valley Water, who will be providing useful information about their water saving programs and incentives available. Also on the webinar, monitoring our chats and questions is our seasoned Genie advisor, Paul Kepke.
Paul, when you have a chance, bye.
Comfortable and efficient. I'm Scott Melberg. I'm the program manager at the City of Palo Alto Utilities, and I manage the Genie program along with the heat pump water heater rebate program and some other home electrification efforts that we have going on at the utility. And I am also a BPI certified professional. So Tony and Emily have a fantastic presentation to help you prepare for saving energy and water this fall, and they'll be providing some great takeaways to help you be more comfortable and efficient this season and into the future. So at this point, let me hand this over to Tony.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Welcome to tonight's presentation, Getting Prepared for Fall. We just finished with the introductions, and then we'll get covering about sort of fall preparation things to consider, everything from seasonal changes, safety, maintenance, preparedness, and then Emily will talk about Valley Water, Palo Alto's regional water partner, about some of the programs they have to offer to help you save water. All right, so what does fall mean to you? Besides, Halloween, trick-or-treating, my son's trying to look forward to it, but we'll have to moderate what we can do with that. But, holidays, getting together, potentially, some of the things that you consider. But when the weather shifts, what are other things that impact you when you're trying to say, what's going to happen? Perhaps you're saying, I have cold rooms. Since we're now working from home more, perhaps your office space where you've set things to work is going to feel different for that. Or maybe your windows get condensation on them. Heating bills going up. We're still in fire season, so there's a chance we'll have another spare the air type wildfire smoke events in the Bay Area. Perhaps someone has underlying breathing conditions like asthma, and it gets worse every time winter season approaches for that. Or certain rooms get damp or moldy. Or just saying that when fall comes in, you just want a comfortable home for that. So these are things that, I've heard many people talk about when the fall season starts to approach and saying, what do I need to consider doing? So first off is planning, thinking about what's coming up. Most important thing is thinking about what you had done last winter. With the pandemic, this will be the first winter that most of us will be spending more time at home, working from home. Children may be working, maybe not going to school, but spending more time at the home for that. So it's important to get a bill review, or just pull out your utility bill from prior and just sort of look, what was your consumption? Did things start to ramp up in November through December and then peak all the way through February, March for that, for your utility bill? Plan for higher usage because we're spending more time at home. So expect your bills to be higher from that because, before, half of us would be at work, another half would be at school. So, the home wouldn't be occupied during the day. But with the pandemic, we're probably going to be spending more time at home for that. So it's just something to be aware of. If you have, knowing the pandemic, there could be, people that have limited job situations right now. Know that City of Palo Alto has a rate assistance program, and we'll post a link on it later. If you need to have any assistance with your rate payments, or there is someone who might be financially in trouble with the pandemic situation. So know that Palo Alto Utilities has a program called the Rate Assistance Program. And there's actually a second program called Project Pledge. It's a community-funded program that's there to help people who are financially challenged. So be prepared for higher bills. If you might be challenged with it, be aware there are programs out there to help you from Palo Alto. Now, thinking about winter, what were things that challenged you last year? Did you have hot or cold rooms, uneven heating? Now that you have your new home office, it could be in the kitchen, it could be a room that was little used. Does that room get cold, or will it get cold when the fall season hits, the weather starts to shift, or maybe you more have dry air in your home? So these are the things to start thinking about for that. And think through that. Reach out to the advising service with the Home Efficiency Genie. You can have a bill review done with them to have a discussion about what your bill's like. What are things to look at, maybe helping minimize what's happening with your bills for that. And since we're spending time at home, safety. And that's always an important thing to think about. Two things is that make sure your smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are working in your home. The recommendation is that if they're battery operated models, you should change it out at least once a year. So when the time shift occurs later this month, just after Halloween, when the time saving shifts that Saturday, consider changing out all the batteries on all your detectors. Some of the newer models have sealed batteries so that you never have to replace a battery, but know what you have. Other homes have direct powered alarms, but they have backup batteries. So make sure that those batteries are checked. And an important thing with all these safety devices, they do have a end of useful service life. Smoke detectors have a 10-year warranty. So if your detector is over 10 years old, it is not functioning at its optimal detection. So all the smoke detector manufacturers recommend replacing it after 10 years, because that's when they end their warranty. You don't want to have your life on a product that's not under warranty for that. For carbon monoxide detectors, especially the early models, they only had a lifespan of about 5 years. They had a warranty that said 5 years. So, but now with the newer ones, they have 5, 7, and 10-year warranty carbon monoxide detectors. Carbon monoxide detector, those sensors do wear out and do not detect as well once it's past the age of the detector's useful service life. So, if it's past this warranty, replace those detectors with newer ones. It's good for safety, just because everyone's spending more time at home. All right, so covering safety, let's look at general maintenance, just things around inside the home. If you ever go up to your attic to get, Halloween supplies, Christmas supplies up there, when you're up there, take a look around your attic. See what's up there if you store things in your attic and go up there on a regular basis. If you don't go up there that much, don't worry about it. You can always have a professional that come by and have them take a look when they're doing it. Like, let's say your furnace is up in the attic, or have a termite inspection. If you haven't had it for at least 5 years or more, it's a good idea to consider that. But the important thing of just sort of looking around the inside is, where are places you've had moisture issues in the past? Could it have been a water stain on the ceiling? If you're in the attic, you might see water stains on the insulation, or maybe up on the roof deck, or down in the basement. Did it feel damp? Are there cold walls down in the lower part of the basement or your crawl space? So these are all things to consider, because water comes from many different locations. It might be a poor sprinkler that puddles water outside the foundation. Could be a roof leak. So there's many sources of water, and with the winter season, you never know what's going to happen after the first rains. So it's always good to be prepared and anticipate some of those things happening. And windows. Do you have windows that have moisture issues? Is there mold and mildew around the window frame itself? Does it always get wet, especially if they're single glazed or single pane windows? If you have an office desk set up next to a window, and it feels cold around the window, when the temperature, are things to consider. You might think of some sort of thermal curtain. This could be cellular shades, or it could be a thick drapery. There's a product out there. It's called Interior Storm Windows. There's a vendor brand called Indos, but it actually creates that double layer of 2 layers to help block cold windows from you. Or you might even try this temporary window film. It's like a plastic sheeting you put up on the window, and then you use a hairdryer to sort of tighten up to at least create an air barrier for that. So those are some things to consider. But if it is drafty by your window, try and find out why it's drafty. It might be the seals are worn, but it also could just be just a cold window surface where the cold air drafts down the side. So if you're not sure about that, give a call to the Genie advising service. We can have a discussion about what are things that are concerning to you, what you've seen in the past, and help you identify, is the moisture collecting on your windows a result of just being a cold window surface, or maybe there's another underlying condition like excessive humidity in the home. So things to think about when fall approaches and the weather starts changing. When it gets to outside, just durability of your home. Check your gutters. Make sure that they are clear of leaves that may have built up over the year. Downspouts, are they clear and functioning? Where does the water drain? You want water coming down the downspout to at least go out 2 to 3 feet away from the foundation of your home for that. And then while you're out there, taking a stroll around your house, take a look if you have a crawl space vent or up in the attic vents for that. Because with the drought and pandemic, there are a lot more rodents running around than usual because everyone's living from home more. And so anything the size of a quarter, that's small, the size of a quarter, that a rodent can actually get into that space. So you definitely want to at least make sure that all the screens are intact for that. And while you're out there, look for termite activities. This is a picture of some droppings that occur. They're like little round pellets. Typically, that's dry wood termites in the home. They swarm between August and November. So if you see a lot of little wings left on the ground, that means they've swarmed nearby and they've settled somewhere close by, in your home, in the fence. You never know. So keep an eye out for those things. And then check anything that's wood on the outside. It might be the door frame, a wood post, your decking. Are there soft spots? That's candy to termites. If they find that soft wood, they're going to start tunneling into that wood and wherever it connects to for that. So prevention. This is a good thing to look at every season for that. Just in general for tree overhanging branches. A good first windstorm and those branches might come down on the house or anything else for that. Also, if a branch connects over to the roof, that's how those rodents get onto your roof and into your attic space. So make sure there are no branches that connect to your roof space from that. And then look for outside anything that's painted. Is the paint peeling? Why is it peeling? Is it because of sun exposure or did moisture get underneath it? So that's why it's starting to delaminate off the surface for that. So these are things for outside to think about and take a look around for your home when you do the outside stroll. You know, the air quality is good right now, so it's a good time to go out and take a look. And chimneys. If you have a wood burning chimney, if you've used it, definitely make sure it's clean for all the crystal that can build up inside the chimney shaft for that, and have the chimney sweep do a safety inspection. Make sure things are working. If you have a damper, is it closed? Make sure it's closed. You just don't want to have an open hole in your home, especially when fall season approaches for that. If you've never checked it, just take a quick peek and see it's there. Or you might be surprised, you might have no damper in that space. There's a product called the chimney pillow. It's sort of the balloon device that you inflate in the chimney, and it essentially blocks the cold air that would come drafting down and keep all the warm air in your home from going out. So these are things just to consider that will help, save energy and keep you more comfortable. Other things to consider, your heating system, specifically centrally ducted systems, so central heating. Change your filter. It shouldn't look like this one here. If it's the dirt is this heavy, it should have been changed much, much sooner than that. When you run the system now. Make sure it's working. Burn out some of that dust that built up over the several months you may not have been using your heating system. Does it work? This is the time to know if there's going to be a chance you need to have it repaired for that. And thermostats, normally it's programmed for, occupation, weekend, and then weekday, people are at home or at school. But now almost everyone's home. So you want to consider how you adjust the schedule for the comfort of everyone at home, and that, set it so that you know how you can save energy. Like, normally they say, set it back a couple degrees for a central heating system when you're away at work. But maybe it's just do it in the evenings when everyone goes to bed, turn down the heating system then for that. And heating contractors. Right now is their slow season right now. Once the first cold spell comes by, that's when they get busy all the way until the holidays. So if you want a good chance to have a safety inspection, if your system needs to get replaced or repaired, this is the time to get that checked so that, one, you can get quick service versus having to wait maybe a week or two before they can actually come by and actually help you with that. And another device that uses energy is your water heater. Check it. If you look around the tank, is there any rust on the tank? Look for a nameplate. Around here, there's usually a little stamp labels. There's a lot of newer ones have dates on them, so you can get a rough idea of how old your water heater is. If you don't, take a picture, show it to an advisor. We can probably help you decode that. But water heaters, on average, last between 10 to 15 years, really based on the warranty of your water heater. And that, if it's over 10 years old, you potentially are on borrowed time that it could develop a leak. How do you check for leaks or prevent that? Do you flush your tanks? If you flush your tank at least once a year and you see rust water coming out on the initial flush, that's telling you the interior, the tank is starting to rust, that glass liner has worn away, and now the actual tank, the metal portion of the tank is now rusting. So, flush your tank if you haven't done it, at least to get some of the debris out and look for rust that's in the water. If you have a tankless, have you descaled it? Did you know that for a lot of on-demand tankless water heaters, if you don't descale it on an annual basis, you might be voiding your warranty, and that when it breaks, you may not have warranty service available. They expect, based on the warranty, at least an annual descaling of your tank. If it's time to replace it, perhaps it's time to electrify. If you're ready to electrify your home, the City of Palo Alto has a heat pump water heater rebate that can get you up to $1,500 back. Reach out to an advisor to talk and find out, is an electric heat pump water heater right for you? And this is a picture of an example. And I know this picture was not done in California because there are no earthquake straps here. But this is what a heat pump, there's a top unit here, and this is the actual tank unit itself. So consider that. Check your water heater. Find out how old it is. Find out if it might be time to replace it. Now, in addition to preparedness, oops, hold on a second. We got an echo. Can you all mute? All right, so disaster preparedness. I actually am a CERT instructor for the city of Sunnyvale, so community emergency response teams. I'm always helping talking people about preparedness for disasters. We live in earthquake country. This is October. Loma Prieta was October 17th, 1989. There is, within the next 30 years, they project in Northern California a 72% chance of a 7.2 or greater earthquake in California. So if you bought your home, before you pay off your loan, expect an earthquake of at least 7.2 or greater in the Bay Area. So prepare for an earthquake. Fire, flood. You remember Palo Alto has creeks, so some of those near those creeks, you could be prone for flooding. So have your plans of what to do if you need to evacuate, if you need to shelter where you are. And the most important thing, if anything about preparedness, store water, at least 1 gallon of water per person per day, including your pets for that. The minimum is 3 days, but FEMA is recommending 7 to 14 if you can do that. So the more water, the better. So think about that. Because we're still in fire season, there's a chance of a high windstorm where the transmission lines are located in California. So we might experience a public safety power shutdown event, a PSPS. So what happens when you lose power maybe for a day or more or longer? So, have a flashlight. If you have flashlights, what do you need? Batteries. Power essentials. What are things that you might need when there's no power? Will your landlines still work if you use a cell phone, especially if you have a smartphone? Usually by the end of the day, isn't the battery almost nearly depleted by the end of the day? If there's no power, how do you keep it running? So consider ways to charge your cell phone, backup batteries for that. Do you need internet? A way to keep your internet modem running for a day or more for that. Have a plan for what to do with your food so you prevent food spoilage. Go to your refrigerated food, then your freezer food, and then your canned goods for that. Have a plan for it. Check out the link for the City of Palo Alto's Preparedness for individuals and family. It's a great website. If you haven't, check out the Community Emergency Response Team for the City of Palo Alto. Each city has a CERT program. I recommend to take it. Be prepared for yourself and help your community as well. And then lastly, because it is still wildfire season, be prepared for another possible poor outdoor air quality. Just like last week when they had the glass fires going on in Napa. That right now we're fortunate. The air quality is good for us from that. But when it happens, did the air quality in your home go down? Did you smell smoke inside? Things to consider that can help you. Definitely air sealing of your home can improve the indoor quality in general. It also help limit the smoke that comes into your home. If you need something to remove the smoke, the best recommendation right now is to use what's called an air purifier, because those are designed for long-term continuous use, 24 hours a day, if you need to remove the smoke out of the air for your home. There's another possibility. You could actually, if you talk with a heating contractor to verify if your central heating system can support higher what's called MERV filters, minimum efficiency rating value. If you put in what they call a MERV 13 filter, it is possible to actually pull out some of the smoke particles out of the air to improve the indoor air quality. But don't put it in without checking with a heating contractor. If your system was never designed for it, you could find yourself paying for a replacement of your fan motor, your air conditioning system, or your heating exchanger if you restrict the airflow too much with too much of a restrictive filter. So talk with them and find out if your heating system can support that. Typically, those are the ones that have like a 4-inch thick filter, or the ones that can support the higher MERV filters for that. But don't do it unless you've verified with a heating contractor that that it is safe to do that for your particular heating system. Otherwise, you're going to be footing a very expensive bill for that. If you're in a urgent situation, so you don't have an air purifier and the smoke is irritating you, there is a do-it-yourself solution. You could get a simple 20-inch box fan with a 20-inch MERV 13 rated filter and just put it on the back of the box fan. Just with a simple tape and run that. That's a quick way of helping to scrub the air, but definitely do not leave it unmonitored, because as a do-it-yourself solution, a box fan was never designed to support a filter, filtering air through it. So it's something if you need a quick way to clean the air, that's sort of a nice, easy way to do it as an emergency way. But if you're going to use something for continuous air cleaning and it's a smoky event, the safer one is definitely an air purifier that has a HEPA class filter, HEPA, a HEPA class filter, and a carbon filter. That's all you need to clean your air. You don't need any of the other fancier products that some air cleaners will sell you or try to sell you. You don't need it. All you need is carbon for gases and smells, and you need a HEPA to take out the smoke particulates for that. To learn more about indoor air quality, I believe about last month, actually, the City of Palo Alto sent out a newsletter, Improving Indoor Air Quality, and there's a link to the newsletters. It has a great talking about strategies to consider on helping during these wildfire events for improving your indoor air quality. And it actually has a link pointing to last month's talk on indoor air quality in general that we had given from this program. And with that, this covers my portion of it. And we're going to then transfer over to Emily. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm going to go on mute, and I will then advance the slides for you.
Thank you, Tony, and thank you, Scott and Paul. Tony will be advancing the slides for me, so I'll be saying next or giving him a cue along the way. So go ahead and go to the next slide. So today I'm going to be talking about the WaterWise survey program, and you can advance to the next one. Again, my name is Emily Yarsimski. I'm Water Conservation Specialist 1 with Valley Water. And today we'll be talking about the WaterWise survey program, which consists of two options. There's the WaterWise outdoor survey portion and the do-it-yourself indoor survey kit. Before I get into this, first I'd like to talk briefly about Valley Water. You can go to the next slide. So who is Valley Water? What do we do and who do we serve? Valley Water, previously known as Santa Clara Valley Water District, serves nearly 2 million people who live and work here in Santa Clara County, and that also includes Palo Alto. Valley Water is a water wholesaler, not a water retailer. Valley Water services 15 cities, 13 local water retailers, and 4,700 well owners. Valley Water Supplies makes up to 60% imported water, 20% natural recharge, 15% local water, and 5% recycled water. On the next slide, I'll go over the water use in our county. So today we use about half or the same amount of water we did in the early 1990s, even though our population has increased. So this is pretty amazing and largely due to the water conservation efforts in our community. So thank you all for doing your part to make conservation a California way of life. The biggest takeaway on the graph on the left is that more than half of our water is used by residential sites, including landscapes. The vast majority of residential use is from existing older homes and older irrigation systems. On average, half of all residential water use is used outdoors. The chart on the right shows where most of our indoor water use goes, with the top users being toilets, showers, and faucets. Next slide, please. So this is the importance of water conservation. So by now we know how important water conservation is. Just a few key reasons listed here show that conservation increases long-term water supply reliability, assists in meeting short-term demands, reduces reliance on the San Joaquin Delta, pictured on the top left here. It saves energy, and it reduces greenhouse gas emissions and helps us meet climate mitigation goals, and reduces urban pollution or runoff. Next slide. So this is a picture of the US Drought Monitor, and this map shows the latest drought snapshot from September 29th. We are currently in the D1 stage right now, which means that we are in a moderate drought. You can keep an eye on drought updates and information at droughtmonitor.unl.edu. For local water supply updates, you can check out valleywater.org and select your water. Also the news and events page, or follow our social media accounts or register for Valley Water monthly newsletters. And with that, I'll get started into the WaterWise Outdoor Survey Program, which is the one component of the WaterWise Survey Program. So next slide, please. The WaterWise Outdoor Survey Program provides a free service to help customers understand their outdoor water use. A trained irrigation professional will assist the landscape and evaluate the efficiency of the irrigation system. So what is the eligibility for this program? We do require single-family and multifamily sites. Non-residential sites or larger multifamily site properties should sign up for our large landscape program. You can find more details about this program on our website, and I'll show you those resources later. Your site must also have at least one valve-operated irrigation zone. So the picture on the bottom right shows what irrigation valves look like. So your property must have at least one of those valves on site, and the valve must be operational. Homes that irrigate only with portable sprinkler or a hose attachment are not eligible for this survey. However, we have plenty of resources for you on our website to help you with hand watering effectively, and I'll show you where to find this later as well. Lastly, San Jose Water Company customers are not eligible for the WaterWise Outdoor Survey Program because San Jose Water Company has their own water audit program for customers in their service area. And I mention this only if there's any viewers who are not Palo Alto residents and interested in the survey program, but Palo Alto residents can benefit from this program. Next slide, please. So what should you expect with a WaterWise Outdoor Survey? So during the survey, a surveyor will evaluate the efficiency of the irrigation system. They'll walk around and note and flag any problems that seem to be improved or can be addressed. And if able to, the surveyor will check your irrigation timer or controller to do a test run if the stations or zones are in operation. The surveyor will then check the irrigation systems to see if there's any visible issues or problematic things to note. If needed, the surveyor will make recommendations for repairs, replacements, and upgrades. Valley Water has many rebates that help customers make these upgrades. For example, we have a weather-based irrigation controller rebate, which allows customers to upgrade an existing older, outdated irrigation timer or controller with a new weather-based irrigation controller with a rain sensor. And this helps customers manage their system to be more efficient with climate control. Another example is our sprinkler nozzle and body upgrades, which allows customers to upgrade their existing older outdated sprinkler nozzles or bodies with high efficient ones, or sprinkler bodies with pressure regulating check valves. So during the survey, a professional survey may inspect the site for our landscape rebate program as well, if the customer is interested and if time permits. So I just touched on providing information on Valley Water rebates. So as the surveyor is checking your irrigation system, they may be able to determine if other components are inefficient and qualify for a rebate. Our rebate programs are separate from the WaterWise Outdoor Survey Program. However, information you obtain from the WaterWise Outdoor Survey may help assist you in applying for a rebate if you're interested. For example, you may have several dozens of sprinkler nozzles at your home, but only some of them may be recently updated. So we can help you determine which ones may need to be upgraded, and you can include that total number of sprinkler nozzles to be upgraded when you do fill out the application process. And furthermore, the surveyor will take a look at your irrigation timer or controller to see if you can be more efficient with your schedule based on season and your unique landscaping needs. I also want to highlight that our surveyors follow strict social distancing protocols and wear a mask at all times on the customer property. We do encourage customers to shadow the surveyor to learn about our process. However, customers need to wear a mask and stay 6 feet away, and we will do the same. Next slide, please. Now that you've learned about the WaterWise Outdoor Survey Program, you may want to determine if you should participate in this program. So often customers are directed to our WaterWise Outdoor Survey Program from their water service provider upon receiving an abnormally high water bill. As I mentioned earlier in my presentation, on average, about half of the water used at residential sites goes outdoors to landscapes. Sometimes there may be an easy fix to high water bills, such as irrigation systems. You could reduce the amount of times or days and the duration of watering to be more effective deep watering. This will not only help the landscape, but also save money and water resources. Sometimes there may be other underlying issues. So the two top water leaks that residents experience are often toilets and irrigation systems. The irrigation system has many parts and requires routine maintenance to keep functioning properly. Some signs of problematic irrigation systems are visible, such as spotty green lush landscape, sometimes with mushroom sightings, and dry or dead patchy areas. This could indicate that the irrigation system is watering the landscape disproportionately, giving too much water to some areas and not enough in other areas, which will need to be checked. Other indications of irrigation issues are signs of overspray or runoff. This might be fixed by simply adjusting your irrigation sprinklers to water target areas of your landscape, or this might indicate broken nozzles or bodies that may need to be fixed. Some customers have a landscaper or a gardener that manages the irrigation system, and they may not know much about the system itself. And then some customers operate the system on their own, but may not have be as savvy with it and generally just want to learn more. Either way, you may sign up for the WaterWise Outdoor Survey to get a better understanding of your irrigation system and how to be more efficient with it moving forward. And with the WaterWise Outdoor Survey, you may learn that if you qualify for rebates to upgrade parts of your irrigation system, maybe you're unsure how old your irrigation parts are, well, one of our professionals can help you determine old, outdated irrigation parts, which would qualify for a rebate. And next slide, please. So how to get started? Simply contact us to get your home scheduled for the WaterWise Outdoor Survey. You may call us at 408-630-2000. Please note, since we are mainly working from home at this time, all calls are directed to our voicemail inbox. But based on popularity of this program, we try to get back to everybody within 2 to 3 business days. You may also email us at waterwise@valleywater.org or fill out a survey request form at watersavings.org. When you get to our website through watersavings.org, just simply click on landscaping and then free WaterWise surveys for homes. You may also ask to have both the WaterWise Outdoor Survey and the DIY survey kit when you fill out the form, or if you call us or email us. And so with that, I will get into the do-it-yourself indoor survey kit. Next slide, thank you. So the DIY kit is a free resource and provided by Valley Water that helps customers learn about the indoor water use portion and how to address inefficiencies to detect leaks inside their home. Anyone can receive a free DIY kit, homeowners or renters. It's also a fun educational opportunity for school-age children to learn about water using fixtures, how to identify and address leaks at home. So what's in the DIY indoor survey kit? The DIY kit comes with a how-to booklet, which shows you how to perform an efficiency and leak check assessment throughout your home. With this booklet comes a flow rate bag, toilet dye tablets, and a booklet that shows you how to do everything from checking your home for a toilet leak, how to perform a water meter leak test, and just general indoor leak information. So the picture on the right is pages 6 and 7. That's in the DIY booklet. As you can see, it's really detailed, has great images and a lot of information to help you check for leaks and inefficiencies in your home. And you might also notice there are some push play buttons. It's a little small to see in the picture, but those icons lead you to our videos that we have on our website to show you how to perform each of those leaks. I like using the videos because I'm a visual learner. And if you go to the next slide, I have some screenshots that I've taken of the videos that we do have. So to help you follow along with the DIY booklet, it's a 4-part video series. It shows you how to perform the meter leak test, the house line test, toilet dye test, and how to use the flow rate bag. And next slide. So at the end of the booklet, you'll find this home survey worksheet. You may fill it out online or in the booklet and send it to us. The home survey worksheet also allows you to note the results of each test you took and if you've identified any efficiencies in your fixtures or any leaks. If you do identify leaky or inefficient faucet, shower head, or toilet flapper, you can receive a bathroom or kitchen faucet aerator, low flow shower head, or a free toilet flapper. You may also contact us by email or phone for other resources that I will show you on the next slide. So to get a DIY kit in the mail, you may contact us by phone or request one, and we will try to mail it out in the same week it has been requested. The DIY Indoor Survey Kit information is on the same web page as the WaterWise Outdoor Survey Program. Just scroll down until you see the DIY kit details. The image on the left shows you how to get the indoor survey kit. As you wait for the complete kit to arrive in the mail, you may get started by viewing the digital booklet online at any time. The booklet also links to our YouTube videos, as I mentioned earlier, and the online home survey worksheet. So the kit is an easy activity to do with the family, along with the video resources as well. And next slide. So you may find other resources on the same webpage or at watersavings.org, or click on the water saving, or click on Saving Water, then Resources in the Gear page. We have all sorts of resources ranging from helping you to further replace equipment with video tutorials from the EPA WaterSense website, how to check for leaks in your sprinkler system on your own, to resource pamphlets and booklets on WaterWise gardening. We also have information on all of our rebate programs, including the landscape rebate program, the gray water rebate program. If you're interested in learning more about gray water and rainwater, we do have a great presentation coming up on October 22nd. You can register for that on our Valley Water Events webpage. For customers who are wishing to take their leak repair and fixture replacement knowledge to the next step, I highly recommend asking us for the Practical Plumbing Handbook. And it might be a little hard to see, but it's the top left booklet image that says Practical Plumbing. Yes, right there. In this booklet shows you an in-depth information on all different types of leaks, fixture parts and problems, and how to fix them on your own. Although the handbook is much more detailed than the DIY kit, it's not intended to help you fix major plumbing issues, as you might need to contact a professional plumber or contractor for those major repairs. And that concludes my presentation. So it was short and sweet. On the right, I have contact information for the WaterWise survey program. And I'd like to thank the staff at City of Palo Alto for inviting me to speak tonight. And thank you all for listening and providing me with your time.
All right, thank you, Emily. All right, let's see. So let's wrap up now. So in summary, what we covered already is the first part where I talked is really just a reminder list of things to think about. You know, planning for higher heating costs, safety of your home, take a walk around to sort of see what's out there and see, you know, gauge the condition of your home. And then checking all of your equipment, make sure they're operational and ready for fall and winter for that. And preparedness. We live in earthquake country, so always be prepared. We never know when the next earthquake is. We had Loma Prieta in October. The 1906 earthquake was in April. Earthquakes can happen anytime. We should be ready for that. And then Emily, thank you for talking about the 2 programs available from Valley Water, WaterWise Outdoor Survey, and the Do-It-Yourself Indoor Kit. If you have any questions, you want further advice, feel free to reach out to the Efficiency Genie advisor for help for that. So I have one final question to ask everyone for that. So if you have your chat box ready, I'd like to see if anyone has any quick answers. But if there are 5 frogs on a log, 3 decide to jump off, how many frogs are on the log? Do we have any answers? The chat? Is the answer 2? Would you believe the answer is actually 5? Because I said 5 frogs on the log, but 3 decided to jump off. I never said that they jumped off the log. So I hope from what we've covered tonight that you've made some decisions that we need to do some of these things, whether it's saving water, whether it's preparing for the colder season, that you've decided these are important things to do. The next thing that you have to do is actually jump in and take action and be sure to do those things. So thank you very much. We're going to have some open Q&A after this. And then just wanted to let you know that we have a virtual assessment program that's coming up. So reach out to the Genie if you want to do that. The next webinar we're planning will be talking about your heating systems. What do you have? Central heating, radiant, electric base, and what are some of your options like heat pump technologies for that? So that's our plan for early November. So keep an eye out for that event coming up. And once again, here's the contact information for the Genie program. efficiency.genie.com or call us at 650-713-3411 or email advisor@efficiency.genie.com. All right, thank you.
So if there are any questions, either put it in the chat box. Be happy to answer them. Tony, I was just wondering, can you elaborate, just because of the indoor air quality problems we've been having, on choosing a filter with your furnace filter? Is there any advice on that you can give us?
Well, in general, for furnace filters, you don't want to put any restrictive filters that your system was not designed for. So in general, the filters that were found in our heating systems, they were designed for just essentially protecting the furnace fans and motor from getting excessive dust or large objects from hitting it. So they're typically MERV 5 to MERV 7 class filters. It's the simple pleated filters that have pleats on it. Nothing higher than that for most heating systems for that. The higher efficiency ones, either a larger filter that's like 4 to 5 inches thick, or they have a higher MERV. There are other companies that have slightly different values that have like 1900 or 2300. Those are equivalent to the MERV class, but don't put them in your system unless your system was specifically designed for higher filtration filters. So keep with the basic ones. The simple pleated one is probably the most you'd ever want to use, and that's really there to capture dust and simple particles that are in the air.
So can I determine from that, then it's probably more important to look at the filter and evaluate how dirty it is than going with the more expensive filters or trying to change the type of filter that you have?
Right. So for filters, if you look at it and it's starting to get uniformly gray across the surface, that's about the point when the filter is used up at that point. So when it gets to be uniformly gray across, the filter is pretty much reached its capacity. Most filters were designed for the 1-inch types. The 1-inch thick ones were designed for about 90 days of average usage, which I believe is probably about roughly 8 hours a day, so that if you use the furnace more often, you might actually have to replace those filters in less than 90 days for that. So just be aware that's what you may have to deal with 1-inch filters. If you have the ability to support larger filters like the 4-inch or 5-inch pleated filters, because there's a bigger pleat in them, you actually think that if you stretch out like the accordion, it's going to have a much bigger surface area that will give you a lot more area to filter out dust and particles for that.
Thanks for that explanation. Any questions from our attendees? We can unmute you if you have a question. You just want to ask it directly.
Should we say going once, going twice?
Unmuted.
Sure.
If nobody has any questions, we can definitely end the meeting, let everyone get back to their evening. If you do have questions, feel free to email the Home Efficiency Genie, and all of the information is here. And as mentioned, this will be a recording that will be posted on the city's website. So we will be sending out a link to all the attendees. So you guys will be able to review this if you do have questions as well. Just go back and look through things at that time.
And when the surveys go out, or even the chat box, please share with us any feedback or any other topics you'd like to hear more about. Anything you'd like us to cover, share with us so we know where your interest is and how we can, be of service to you.
And we will be including a link to a Survey Monkey that we'd appreciate if you fill that out as well. That'll also come in the email from the organizer. So be on the lookout for that as well. I think we're at the end of our meeting. So thank you everyone for attending. We really appreciate you spending your evening with us, and we look forward to having you attend our future webinar. Like Tony said, we'll be having one probably in November on the topic of your heating system. So look forward to learning more about that. Thanks everyone, and have a great evening.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Bye, everyone.